We are about to do the first ever character guide for the new Kaiju number 8 game. So if you guys do enjoy the video, if you find this information helpful, let me know down in the comments which character you would like to see a guide on next. We are of course going to be starting with the new Reno, because let's just face it, he is like the best character in the game right now. He is very, very good. So starting with his weapon, I do have probably the best weapon personally that I can have equipped on him right now, being the AR Octopus 58. There is a reason for that, because this particular weapon is going to speed up the rotation of special moves, which is really good. However, that's not to say that this is the best weapon you can have in the game. It's just the best weapon I personally have on my account. So there are two other weapon options for Reno, and I'm going to show you what they are. So I'll have to go over to the gotcha here to actually pull this up, because I did not pull his weapon, but you know, pretty clearly on his banner there is a weapon that came out with him, and that weapon ideally is going to be the best weapon for him, right? So what this weapon does right here, the AR Boreas, is going to give crit rate plus 24%. That's insanely good for Reno, because Reno already gives himself crit rate, and he gives himself more crit rate when he gets a dupe into him as well. Like, he's going to be a really good crit character, especially if you're able to dupe him out. After the equipped unit activates combat skill, applies ice damage dealt plus 8% for 3 turns, and ultimate gauge charge rate plus 7% for 3 turns to the equipped unit, max of 2 stacks. So that is like literally designed for Reno. It is going to be very, very good for him. So if you can get this weapon, this is by far, like bar none, the best possible weapon that you can equip to him. Now, if you don't have this weapon, like I said, the next two best options are going to be the AR Octopus and a weapon called the AR Hyperion. Unfortunately, I don't have the AR Hyperion in here. I do have quite a few 5-star weapons that I got lucky enough to get, but none of them are for Reno. And so what the AR Hyperion though does, it looks pretty similar to this, just, you know, 5 stars. It's going to increase your attack by 28%, and then at the start of the battle, it's going to grant all allies a speed buff for 3 turns, which is pretty nice. And then after that, wearer of the weapon activates a special move, it grants attack plus 6% to all allies for 2 turns. So it's a really good supportive over like 5-star weapon overall that's going to help your team, help give them more speed, help give them extra damage as well, in addition to giving himself damage. So those are kind of your 3 weapons that you want to go for, whether that be the AR Octopus or the AR Hyperion, or the one that came with him, which of course is the AR Boreas. All of those weapons though are going to be ARs. Specific weapons work better on specific characters. Keep that in mind. Like, if you try to equip a weapon that is not meant for the character, you will get this pop-up that says not the optimal weapon type. So don't equip weapons that aren't actually going to help your character out. Now, with that said, let's talk a little bit about UNIPARTS. UNIPARTS are probably something that not a lot of people have just yet, because the game literally just came out. I myself don't even have the ability to make the unipart that would be best on him, but if you go into develop and you take a look at the different uniparts, right, it seems like by far the best unipart type, and there's different, you know, levels of each one, right, is going to be the spider unipart. Okay, so the spider one, attack plus 46.80%, effect hit rate plus 22.40%. this is assuming we're like getting the best version, right? When the equipped unit attacks a kaiju that already has a debuff or status ailment, the equipped unit's damage dealt is plus 25%, which, as we know, Reno has the freeze, he has the ice, so they're going to have debuffs or status ailments on them, so he's going to be able to do a lot of extra damage with this particular unipart. And you want to get the full unipart set if you can, so you want to get the gloves and the chest piece and everything else that you can, but you want all of them to be spider if at all possible, because that's just going to increase your damage substantially. So uniparts, go for the spider set. That is going to be the best set possible for Reno. Now let's talk about Ascension here. So should you be duping this character out? In my opinion, heck yes, if you're able. It does take 6 dupes, but like, if you want to go from like, I don't know, what do you call it, an atomic bomb to like a nuke, That's what you do. You dupe this guy out, okay? So at Ascension Stage 1, you can see right here, it is locked, but what you'll get is before activating an ultimate, applies crit damage plus 30% for 1 turn to this unit. That's really good. But then as you get into the further dupes, it gets even better. Unfortunately, I don't know of like an easy way to pull this up in the game to show, so I had to look it up on a website. But here's what the other Ascensions do, just for your guys' reference, so you can decide for yourself if you want to, how far you want to ascend him. So at 2 Ascensions, when attacking a monster in an ice crystal state, your own defense penetration rate will be 16% higher. At 3 Ascensions, your normal attack combat level skill will go up by 2, so we'll go from level 10 to level 12, and then your normal attack and combat skill maximum level will have +2 as well. For 4 Ascensions, every time your ice element damage is procced by the ice crystals. It seems like this is a rough translation from Japanese, so I apologize if I'm getting this wrong, but it seems like every time that damage is activated by the ice crystal, your special move gauge is going to go up by +2, which is insanely good because that allows you to get your ultimate faster, and it looks like you're going to be able to get a much quicker ultimate, allowing you to do more damage overall. So that's at 4 dupes into the Ascension. I would say 4 dupes is kind of the sweet spot that you want to aim for. For 5 dupes for the Ascension, it's going to be +2 for the special moves, passive skills, and follow-up skills, just increasing the overall maximum level for those skills. And then at 6 dupes, this is the big one. When you fully dupe him out, right, his ice attribute damage multiplier is +60% with ice crystals. That is absolutely freaking insane. So Reno, if you're able to dupe him out, becomes an absolute monster, but even without having him fully duped, I would say like he is still a beast in his own right. Okay, so please keep that in mind. Very, very good character. Very solid, has good damage, has the status elements, has a lot going on for him. Now, last but not least, we do need to talk about his skills, and then we'll get into the ideal team build for him. So skill-wise, what skills should you be upgrading first? Well, first off, let's start on the left here, actually. You cannot build up these passive skills here, but you do unlock them as you level up the character. So once you hit level 40, you're going to get this instant cold energy. After activating combat skill, has a 50% fixed chance of SP +1. This is huge because that SP +1 applies for your whole team. That's going to just help them out a ton. And then when you get to level 60, at the start of a wave, applies Ice Crystal for 2 turns. That is the same as the passive skills to all Kaiju. So that's just going to give you more damage overall, which is big. And then when you get to level 80, when attacking a Kaiju in Ice Crystal state, this unit's damage dealt gets an additional 18%. So you'll get those additional passives just as you level up the character. Now, as for the actual skills here and the 2 basic passives, or sorry, the 1 basic passive and the follow-up skill, what skill should you be upgrading first? In my personal opinion, I believe the composed thinking should be your #1 upgrade for skills. The reason being, most of these skills, when you upgrade them, they just increase damage, right? But Ice Crystal is something that happens throughout the battle. So if you increase the damage on this, it's gonna like, let me read it and you'll understand. After activating combat skill, follow-up skill, or ultimate skill against a Kaiju in Ice Crystal state, applies Ice Crystal for 2 turns to adjacent Kaiju. What does the Ice Crystal do? After an ally attacks, deals ice additional damage equal to 22% of the applier's attack. So basically, whenever an ally is attacking, you're going to get additional damage. So I think this is actually really good to upgrade first, because this is going to allow you to get a lot more damage in the long run. So this should be your #1 upgrade, because it does go from 20, it doesn't go up by a lot, but it goes up from right here 22% to 23%. But every single percentage that you can get added onto this is going to give you more damage in the long run each time an ally attacks. Okay, the next ability I would probably upgrade is going to be your ultimate. Surprise, surprise, the ultimate does insane stuff. So before attacking, applies crit rate plus 15% for 2 turns to this unit. Deals shot and ice damage equal to 171% of this unit's attack to a single Kaiju. Deals shot and ice damage equal to 85% of this unit's attack to adjacent Kaiju, so it is an AoE as well in a way. After attacking, has a 65% base chance to apply freeze for 1 turn to the target. Freeze is going to delay the target's next action order by 30%. After turn arrives, takes ice additional damage equal to 22% of the applier's attack. The reason I say upgrade this one next is because it is his like only AoE ability. Granted, the AoE percentage on the surrounding Kaiju isn't that high, but still you can increase that damage overall so that you are doing more AoE damage when you do use this particular skill. So this is a good skill to upgrade next. So first I would do the passive, then I would do his ultimate, then honestly I would do the combat skill here for him, which is Ice Break. The reason being because you're going to be using this skill ideally more than skill 1, because you want to use skill 2 to apply ice crystals. And those ice crystals are going to allow you to do more damage in the long run, right? So whenever you can, you're going to be wanting to use skill 2. So that's why you're going to want to upgrade skill 2 third. And then after that, honestly, it doesn't matter. You can upgrade skill 1 or the follow-up skill. It's basically just upgrading damage. So whichever one you want there, that's up to you which one you want to upgrade. But in general, that is the way I would upgrade his skills. Those are the weapons I would equip. Those are the UNIPARTS I would equip. And if you can ascend him, if you have the money, if you have the means, by all means, go ahead and do it, because he is definitely a very good character and definitely worth ascending. Now, as for squad setup, there is like a more ideal squad than this to run Reno on for sure. But just generally speaking, I would say one of Reno's best partners to have is going to be the 4-star Mina, because of the buffs that she can offer to the team. So if you run these two together, I think you're pretty set. Outside of that, you can run kind of whatever you want. But the recommendation would probably be to have Director Shinomiya on the team. He'd be pretty good. And then that other 4th spot can be pretty much whoever you want. It can be Kaiju number 8, it can be Gen, it could be, you know, whatever. But generally speaking, I would say 4 team builds for Reno. You're going to want Reno and Mina. It's kind of hard to give exact team builds because depending on the content that you're taking on, you might need certain character attributes and traits and stuff like that switched out. So team builds aren't set in stone, but just to give you guys an idea of a potential team build, this might be what I use. So if this video helped you out at all, please consider going down there, hitting that like button. And if you're not already subscribed, hitting that subscribe button, it means so much to me. And in the comments, let me know which character you want to see next. The character with the most likes on a comment. So if somebody puts like Kaiju number 8, somebody puts Mina down there, that is the character I will do next. I will probably be looking at this video here within like the next 24 hours at the comments. So whichever character you guys want to see, let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.